Is a level of detail or LOD calculation a row level calculation or an aggregate calculation? The answer is it's kind of both. So it's a row level calculation that does not run across your underlying records, but instead runs and calculates across an aggregated result set. So let's break down what I mean. If we look at sum of sales in our Superstore data set, we can see the total sum of sales, in this case 2.3 million. And if we select view data, we can see that this sum of sales has 10,000 plus underlying records that roll up that total sum of sales. We can also toggle to see all of the fields. Let's now create a level of detail calculation that's going to fix to category and calculate sum of sales. So again, sum of sales for each category. I'll now grab this LOD and bring it into the view. So we can see LOD test is also returning 2.3 million, and sum of sales is also, again, 2.3 million. So I mentioned LODs are row level calculations, and how do we know they are? Well, when you brought it into the view, Tableau's automatically applying an aggregation on top of it, in this case, sum. So it's the sum of our LOD test. So it's the sum of fixed to category, sum of sales. I can change this to average, and we get 775,000. I'll change sum of sales to average sales. And now we get a discrepancy. Average sales is 228, a number much smaller than the 775,000. So what exactly is happening? If we open up the view data again for average LOD test, we now have two tabs, which typically are representing two tables. So you can see the LOD test is actually just averaging the values for technology, furniture, and office supplies. So it's just taking these three values, which are the sum of sales for each category, and it's averaging that sum of sales. If you look at the orders table, that sum of sales is going across all the records and taking the average. So that's why you're getting a much smaller number. What's a little bit counterintuitive is that in this orders table, we're still seeing LOD test. So we're seeing these large numbers applied to each record. So 731,000 represents the total sum of sales for the office supplies category. If we showed all the fields and let's bring in our subcategory, we can see that regardless, I'll bring this all the way to the left, whoops. You can see regardless of what subcategory is, it's going to return the sum of sales for its corresponding category. So paper belongs to the office supplies, therefore give me the sum of sales for office supplies. Binders also falls under office supplies, so give me the sum of sales for all of office supplies. So what's confusing is if one were looking at just this table, they would think, okay, LOD test is row level, therefore when I take the average, we should be basically taking the average of all these values. But that's not how LODs work. Instead of scanning through all of the underlying records and then calculating our aggregation, an LOD is actually scanning through this aggregated result set, which is defined in the LOD itself. So in the LOD, we fix it to category. Therefore, our result set is showing us just data at the category level of detail or the category granularity. A little bit confusing, but I hope it was helpful to kind of see this dissection of how LODs are working.